All right, I believe we are live. Copy, paste, be live. All right, there we go. Close this. Do live chat. Okay, everything's good. All right, perfect. All right. Hello guys and welcome to another live session Monday 4:30. There's quite a bit I want to talk about in this live session, of course, going over a few things from the market updates as well as today's move. A ton of you guys messaged me with some insane profits off that 21.22, so congratulations. Just let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. If you guys can hear me well, then we are good to go. But I will start off with, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then we'll lead into altcoins. Then I'll analyze whatever you guys want me to analyze from there, and I'll teach you guys some, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, we can also go from there as well. But yeah, let me just know if you guys can see me or hear me. Seems to be good. Everyone is joining in. I am waiting for the live chat to pop up. Yes, perfect. Okay, thanks, Aisha. Okay, so let's start off with Bitcoin. So yes, I have zoomed into the screen for you guys so you guys can kind of see a little bit better as to the price action. But yeah, so Bitcoin, of course, we broke above the exponential moving average with some strong volume. I messaged you guys in Telegram letting you guys know that, of course, you start looking for Ethereum at the 2280 level because it was lagging behind. Ideally, when you see Bitcoin rally, Ethereum always lags behind. You have about 10 to 15 minutes to enter some positions on Ethereum. Immediately enter that position, and you guys can see it was a very profitable trade. Some of you guys sent me some insane profits, so congrats if you guys did take the trade. Let's talk about the overall outlook of the market, though, not the simple trade on the 4-hour. We take a lot of trades throughout the day, but I want to talk about the overall outlook. So you can see 21.22. I was talking about it all week long, right? I said that, okay, we saw it bounce at 23.05. It has turned to resistance now. We've seen multiple retest opportunities on Ethereum on resistance at 23.05, but we didn't see any retest on support as of right now. Have to be very careful, of course, on support retest, because if we don't see that retest, ideally it usually means manipulation before the continuation. And now you can see 21.22 was tested perfectly. Now that we have seen that 21.22, that was the buying area for altcoins. That was the buying area for Ethereum, as well as Bitcoin. That was the level I was paying attention to. Are we out of the woods just yet? No, we are not. And the reason why is, of course, we still have to see strong volume break for Bitcoin as well as Ethereum. 23.05 is a major resistance. Overcoming that level will give Ethereum the room into 3600 on the daily time frame, but everything in between this zone, 23.05 and 21.22, is going to act as a stronger consolidation zone. You can definitely trade consolidation zones to your benefit. Just have to be very careful with take profits as well as placing some stops. So ideally, if you are looking for those trade positions right now, Ethereum, of course, was a very nice long entry. If you missed the trade, then you are waiting for the exponential moving average and the candle close, then re-entering, and then the continuation. Trust me, I am trying to figure out why I can't delete this. It's really getting to me. Oh, there we go. Not blind. Never mind. I got it. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much on Ethereum, the overall outlook, what I'm looking for. Same with Bitcoin. Altcoins right now, like Hbar and many others. I made the Hbar video as well. You can see that we did see some very nice dip opportunities for altcoins, buying opportunities. I told you guys long term, at least for the next 2 or 3 weeks, we are still bouncing off these 20 exponential moving averages. We are not looking for any sort of bounce opportunities for the downside. We are still continuing on the upscale, but these EMAs are acting as very strong support. I'm still holding my positions, of course. I did end up taking, I think, 97% of my IMX bag. I actually ended up selling it at $2.20, and I went pretty much all in on Beam. I do think Beam is more undervalued, and it definitely has a lot better risk to return. IMX I bought at 84 cents. It was time to kind of at least start looking to take some profits. We had quite a bit of a run up. I held it the whole way through, but now Beam, of course, is, like I said, one of those coins as well, and with the partnership, that's why I was a lot more confident into it. So I was like, okay, you know what, I will enter on Beam as well, and that's why I entered. At least I pretty much scaled my position in. So my original entry when I sent it to you guys was at 0.11, I think, so somewhere down here, right around there is when I sent it in Telegram. Like I said, I won't enter, or rather I won't send something if it's already pumped. I try to, you know, send something that's legitimate and it has a little backing. I'm not going to start sending meme coins or something with low liquidity. You guys have asked, I'm not doing it. But what I just pay attention to, of course, is volume and the overall outlook of the coin. IMX partnership, so I bought at 0.011. I held the whole way through. I didn't take any profits on Beam as of right now. Partnership came out around 0.15, entered even more, and then of course entered even more on the dip opportunity at 0.16 and 0.102 for whatever, for the 9 exponential moving average. That's why these are opportunities for dips, and I do think that these coins are going to do extremely well, mostly if Ethereum can somehow break above 2305. We are going to see an absolutely crazy rally in terms of altcoins. We have not seen anything yet. You can see Bitcoin dominance is still increasing. We have not seen altcoins rally just as of right now. This is not the run that I was talking about. What's up, Yosen? So let's look at the chat. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and I will answer them as we go. JTO Sand. Okay, I don't know what JTO is. If that is the Solana one, I'm not doing that one. But Sand I can analyze for you. I don't analyze new coins, like I told you guys this before too. There's no point. I refuse to analyze new coins because there's not enough data for you to go off of, and I don't do hopes and dreams. But looking at Sand, we can see Sand on the daily time frame just seems like a much larger consolidation zone. Like Sand long term, I think will do well. Like I said, there's a lot of bag holders though. You got to keep in mind there is a ton of bag holders on Sand from $7 into the $3 range. This was from the previous bull run. We are in that same consolidation zone before the massive run up here at 30 cents. Can this go, you know, around $3, $4, $5 maybe in a bull run? But usually it takes a lot. You guys got to understand, it takes a lot for a coin to break back above all-time highs. Mostly when you have a coin as large as Sand, when trying to break up the all-time highs, got to be very, very careful. But from a leverage position on Sand, you can see that we are looking pretty strong here. Holding above 0.49 is the key though. If we do end up holding above that zone, then the first level of take profit is going to be at 71 cents. Very nice uptrend. Yes, on AVAX, ICP and AVAX, yes, I do want to talk about those two specifically. Now, ICP, damn, like this is what I mean by opportunities, right? I sent this to you guys earlier in Telegram, at least for altcoins, not ICP specific, but I mentioned to you guys there's a ton of coins out there right now that are consolidating and looking for those breakout structures. ICP was one of those coins consolidating at $3. We saw, and honestly guys, like this is why I'm more bullish on Beam as well. People always say, oh, the market cap's too high, oh this and oh that, and like, guys, ICP was a market cap of I think 1.5 or 1.8 and it shot up to 4.5 within like 2 days. Like that's what I'm saying. You got to be very, very careful when it comes down to market caps and the idea behind it. Like a lot of people don't understand, like when you have a bull run and market cap doesn't mean anything. We saw that on Doge as well. It doesn't mean anything. You just have to be very, very careful with your entries. But if you can manage to catch a breakout, you are profiting quite a bit. ICP, in my opinion, like I said, I don't know the fundamentals very much. Like I said, I don't really look into that. I just look at technicals mostly. But you can see the ICP, I mean, damn, like this is a 90% corrective move, 99% corrective move. And now we're seeing a breakout. And look how small of a breakout it is still. I'm not pushing for ICP to go to the moon or anything, but just in terms of technical analysis, like you can see right here. So I'll quickly show you guys. We have a strong resistance right there at 9.71. We bounce off that zone perfectly. If we manage to hold above 9.71 and consolidate, the first level of take profit would be around the $23 for ICP. And that, of course, would lead into altcoins as well. The market would probably push as well in terms of every other altcoin, not just ICP specific. But that's what I'm saying is like, that's where you want to, that's where probably the most money you're probably going to make is going to be. When you start finding coins like this that haven't broken out, but that are legitimate enough to at least be in the top 50. Very much appreciate you sticking to what works for you, the knowledge you share with us. Yeah, no problem, Sebastian. AVAX, yes, I want to talk about AVAX. I'm still focusing on AVAX for the main target of $54, guys. I told you guys this before. Dip opportunities on AVAX are for buying because of the fact that that level is going to act as a very strong magnet on the daily time frame. AVAX is one of those coins that you can see from previous price as well. We've been in this range before. We have been in this range before. We've seen multiple retest opportunities of this range, but if you notice the initial break that we had, the first ever break we had, the wick went all the way up into $54.90. The second breakout we had, the wick went into $54.90. This isn't something new. We don't trade, we don't go off magical crystal balls. We just trade what price action is. And now price action is still pointing into $54.90. When that level is hit, I would highly suggest you guys to look to take some profits. But for those of you that want to hold for the long term, you have to keep in mind of something that's very interesting. If you see here on AVAX, for example, on the 54.90, you'll notice the fact that we have tested this on the larger time frame twice. This is now the third test on the larger time frame. When you have a third test on a daily time frame, it has a lot more volume, it has a lot more weight to it, and that's why we see much larger explosive moves, and that goes for AVAX as well. I would suggest looking to take some profits at $54, maybe not your entire position, waiting for some sort of corrective move and then playing the larger squeeze. We can definitely see a much larger squeeze, just like I mentioned to you guys on Solana as well. Solana is something that we traded at $23 or $22 is when I sent it in Telegram, that this is what I'm looking for a buying opportunity. Sol, as of right now, is of course trading into $74. The white line was when I sent it at 26. Okay, so it's 26. Oh, but like that was the area of opportunity, because you guys can see we were trading at a major consolidation zone, multiple retest opportunities. Guess what happened though? The more retests on the daily time frame and the larger the breakout, the stronger it is. And look how many tests we really had on the daily, guys. Like that's like 7 or 8 tests on the daily when we broke. Look at the amount of parabolic that came with it, right? And that's why I tell you guys, like, yes, there are times you can make a ton of money in these markets. You just have to play your cards right. Everyone was calling for, Solana to $0, $8, whatever. I did manage to catch some trades at 8, close for 11, and then I kind of forgot about it. I was more focused on the NFT market than I was for trading. I actually, once I sent the $22 breakout, that's when I started moving stuff around into altcoins again. And that's why, is because, these markets only give you these cycles so rarely, and you want to be on top of it, because this is the time where you're going to make the most money. It's not going to be the time when you got people on TikTok shilling you your random coins on these, oh, hey guys, did you hear about Beam? Beam's going to $1. When you start seeing videos like that on TikTok, it's probably time to sell, right? We saw the same with Gala. Gala went 84 cents. And I remember seeing I went on TikTok and saw some random chick, and like her content was like fashion, and then she was talking about Gala, and I'm like, okay, this is the top, like this is it, like there's no, like I sold everything, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying, is like that's usually where you want to start being greedy with your profits. Right now, I don't even think we're even close to like retail. If you look on Google Trends, we're not even close in terms of search for Bitcoin. We're just starting, and like, long-term perspective, and what I mean by long-term is the next at least a year. I do think that, if you hold these coins, the gamble, like psychologically, guys, this, like I said, I've done this. This is quite a while for me now. This is my third bull market. Like, when it comes down to long-term holds, there's 2 ways of playing it. Number one is finding a coin you are, doing your research, yada, 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 and you really believe in the coin and holding it truly for the long term. The problem, there's a few things. You never want to marry your bags. I'm not married to my bags. I'm bullish on these coins, but that doesn't mean I'm going to hold them forever. What you want to do, of course, is mostly in a bull market, is you want to ideally try to make the most out of the run, right? So you can hold your coin, but I'll be honest with you guys, like all the coins that you probably think that are going to do extremely well, mostly from the old cycle, they probably won't do that well again, other than given, of course, Solana, AVAX, and the main ones. Like I'm talking about the random ones. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like Gala, for example. I don't think Gala would necessarily hit 84 cents ever again. But when it's down 99% and you buy in at 0.108 like we did, is there room to make money? Yeah, there definitely is room to make money. You just have to catch the right token, as in the narrative, and you'll make money anyways. But if you want those explosive gains, you got to be moving pretty quickly. And that's just what I do, right? So I don't hold a coin very long. Mostly when it comes down to like super long-term bags, I will buy and I'll sell accordingly. But there's some people out there that, you know, zero to hero, and they need that. They like, no, I'm holding this until like 10x or $1 or $10. Like, I'm sure everyone knows someone like that. They're like, I'm not selling until blank. And the problem with that is if it never hits blank, you'll never sell. It's like a psychological thing. And then you end up losing a lot more because it never hit blank. And then you miss out on a lot more profits from other coins. I flip around a lot. You guys saw I was crazy about IMX, and I sent it at 84 cents and I sold. I sold at $2.20. I told you guys when I sold, I said, hey, I'm going to start moving stuff into Beam. And do I think IMX is going to do extremely well for the bull run? Yeah. Does that mean anything to me? No, not necessarily, because there's other opportunities. Beam is one of those opportunities. And that leads me into my next point for January for ETF. Like, there's a few things you got to keep in mind on January's ETF decision. There's two sides right now. Number one side, of course, is it's all extreme bear, and, you know, when the ETF gets approved, we're going to crash 70% and yada, yada, yada. And the second one is, of course, ETF gets approved and we see a massive run for crypto in general. Me personally, when it comes down to news-based, you guys know that I don't like trading news. I definitely ETF something that big, I won't be trading it. And the reason why is because if the ETF does fail, I'm not saying it will, but like there is a chance that they do deny it, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And whatever you want to dig in on your tinfoil hats and decide what BlackRock wants to do, whatever, I don't care. If the off chance that we don't get approved and the market does, because this whole rally is based off the fact that, oh my God, the ETF's going to get approved, yada, 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 we're back, bull run's back, yada. If it doesn't get approved and we do see a market correction, you are going to be a lot more thankful that you were sitting in cash, or rather on the side. And I'm not saying your whole bag, but like, you know, a decent amount of cash for these coins that you love so much, and then buying them again. That doesn't mean that these coins won't ever do well. It does not mean the coins are going to zero. It does not mean crypto is going to zero. It's just a buying opportunity after such a massive run up. And for those of you saying, oh, we didn't even run that far, you guys got to understand, guys, like, look, back in October of 23rd, we were at 28K. Right now we're at 42K. Does that really seem logical? Does that really seem logical to you guys to be like, yeah, no, this is it. This is the run that I wanted? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. And that's what I'm saying is, don't get married to your positions right now. I don't necessarily think that this is the run necessarily. I do think we could be expecting maybe, you know, ETF, we could rally into 50K and then see the correction, kind of fake out both sides. But me personally, 2 weeks, I'm out. I would rather be wrong and then rebuy the same bags again than be right and, you know, end up seeing a huge correction and then everyone's like in despair. Because the thing is, not only have I been in this market for a long time, the thing is, we have seen this over and over and over on Bitcoin. We have seen massive rallies on Bitcoin, right? Just huge rallies. And then everyone gets bullish, 19 to 30, and then corrective to 24. Same thing over here. 24 over to 32, down to 24. Yes, technically speaking, it's pushing higher as it goes, but again, we have to keep in mind that the overall moveset ends at 48K. What then? That level you can't ignore on the daily or the weekly has multiple rejections. And the last time we ended up on that zone, you can see all the way into there, into 50 or 48, and then we saw a correction into 40. We did see a correction recently, but it wasn't really a correction, was it? It wasn't really a crazy correction. So that's what I'm thinking is my play, at least for spot positions. 1 or 2 weeks, I'll probably end up closing my positions. If I'm wrong, I will rebuy it. If I'm right, then yeah, that's generational wealth. Like that's what you play. That's the level of altcoins you want to play. For those of you that don't have time to be looking into this stuff, just buy and hold it. You don't have to play anything. Just buy and hold it for long term. As long as you know your bags are going to do well, you'll be okay. I just wanted to really, explain that to you guys. What are some good coins right now except for IMX and Beam? Yosin gaming tokens, I think, will do extremely well. You just have to find the right ones. And AI coins, there is a ton of coins out there that are rug pulls. There's a ton of coins out there that will probably not be anything, and they're just big words. So that's the problem, is you're going to really have to research into those coins and try to find it. I like Beam, I like IMX. They're already decently large enough that I don't have to wake up tomorrow and it's going to be be at 0, if that makes sense. I can't see the chart clearly. You should be able to. I think everyone else sees it perfectly. I'll just zoom in for you like that. I'm not explaining Bob. I don't care about shitcoins. Hey, so basically, what can we buy now? So right now is a time, like I said, like 21.22 this morning was the time to buy your altcoins. It doesn't, I'm not saying go buy Beam and IMX specifically. There was coins like, you know, you could have bought Cardano, for example, on the 20 exponential moving average. I'm not going to say XRP. XRP sucks. There's other coins, like I said, you know, like Gala, for example, 20 EMA, there was Ocean, Algo, all these coins had the same bounce. Everything follows Bitcoin and Ethereum to an extent, right? So Solana, Gala, Algo, Ocean, all these coins that I have, these are just coins that you guys asked me to analyze. Hbar, these are all dip opportunities for coins that you can buy. All of these are decently top 50 coins that you know are good for the long term. You want to make it or break it in the long term, then buy the top 50s, top 30s, you know, risk it a little bit. But anything above the 150, 200s, that's where you're really playing with it. And I don't like playing like that. I mostly prefer a bull run. Yeah, Caspa's good. I like Caspa, but again, like those kind of coins, I refuse to analyze, right? Because I don't want. Those are a little smaller and, you know, newer, and of course, a lot more folks are they're not used to, you know, seeing larger corrections on that. We got to be very, very careful when I'm saying like corrective moves, because I don't think people understand what exactly a corrective move is. A corrective move is like your altcoin dumping 30% and you're like, what the hell just happened? Like Bitcoin and Ethereum dropping 10-15%, then the main altcoin is dropping like 25%, and then your altcoin, because it's a micro, dropping like 50%. That is what I'm calling a corrective move. You have to be prepared for that. If you think that your coin is just going to go straight to the moon, it's not. And I don't think it's healthy anyways. And I'll give you guys an example of Beam. This rally that we saw on Beam all the way up to 0.027, that was not healthy to me. I was more worried that if we continue to rally into straight 0.05, I was going to sell everything because I didn't think that rally would be able to be sustained. I'm glad we saw this corrective move. We're still holding above 0.02. We're still up 100% from when I sent it, so I'm happy. I don't really care. But these kind of opportunities, like Litecoin, for example, like this is another opportunity. Litecoin is silver for me, at least for crypto, long term. You want safe trades, you want safe bets, and just buy Litecoin for the long term, right? We've seen Litecoin do the same sort of price analysis in the previous bull run like we did back in 2018 as well. I have traded Litecoin for a very long time, and I've told you guys this before too. When Litecoin pumps, when Litecoin has a massive rally, and all of a sudden you're starting to see Litecoin everywhere, it's usually the last coin to pump in a cycle. So you can see back over here in 2020, 2021, when Litecoin pumped to 275, that was marking the top November 21st of the last previous bull run. Around that area was the top. So yeah, like that's usually my indicator is Litecoin. But again, Litecoin is one of those coins when it's, you know, safe bets long term. I would go with Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and then you break it off as you go. That's just how like I said, that's what I recommend. You can see there's meme coins. I have meme coins on here like Pepe, I have Doge, I have Shiba. I talk about all these as well. But do I recommend these for the long term? Like that's the risky play. We've all heard of the guy, you know, the Shiba, you know, whatever, 10K to $1 billion. But like how many people out there can really say that, you know, out of that one person, there's probably 1,000 people that end up losing on these coins, because these coins are the Wild West, right? It's like, it's a completely different level field. I don't recommend, I mean, I'm not saying there's not money to be made in them, but I'm just saying I would prefer to have a lot more liquid before a bull run, mostly now. Like you could have been doing that when Bitcoin was ranging at like down here at 28, 20, 28, who gives a shit? You can do whatever you want at that point, right? But when you have a run like this and the ETF decision's right around the corner and everyone's kind of bullish right now, mostly with altcoins running, you can see Ethereum's running, like guys, like that was a really good trade too. Like when you have stuff like that happening, it's almost stupid enough to be, you know, drenched into coins like meme coins like that and be like, oh yes, I'm going to the moon. You know what I mean? Like it's just like there's better plays mostly for altcoins. You might not receive the same gains, but yeah, you can sleep at night knowing you're not going to go to zero overnight. So that's just how I see it. But Ethereum in general, like I said, I do want to, from a daily perspective, if we're looking at it, we need to overcome the daily exponential moving average. 21.22 was a great bounce. That's a great candle. We are not out of the woodwork yet. I can't emphasize this enough. We are not out of the woodwork yet. We have to break above the EMAs, and then we can have a confirmation back above the trend. Right now, this could easily just act as resistance. This is a crucial zone for Ethereum. This is a crucial zone for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, of course, is a lot stronger in terms of a candle right now, but we are playing catch up on Ethereum. We've been playing catch up on Ethereum. We really, really, really need to see volume come into the market. When Ethereum rallies is when you are going to see your favorite altcoins rally, right? Like whatever coin you are in, that's when you really start seeing rallies. If your coin does not rally, right? If your coin, for example, if your coin does not rally when Bitcoin and Ethereum rally, you are in the wrong coins. I don't know how to explain it to you. You are in the wrong coins. You really need to be in the right coins and follow where the volume is going. I'm not saying your coin may never pump. It might, but you are missing a lot of opportunity cost here. AVAX is one of those coins that is the right coin, following the trend. A beautiful trend, if that. It's probably one of my favorite charts. AVAX broke above 22, used it as support, confirmation, and it's been an uptrend since. And the volume is definitely there for AVAX. The market cap was smaller, and then it had a massive run up as well. There is a lot of coins like they're out there that have not had the run. Injective, same one, just broke all-time high. Look at that. All-time high here was $24. We just broke all-time high. Yes, this was a newish coin from December 2020, had the bull run, consolidated. Like, look at this, guys. Top of 24 down to $1.69, and now it's trading at $34. Like, there's coins out there that you'll notice these things that, hey, okay, like this is consolidated, you get the initial breakout, the volume is there, just enter the trade. You don't have to think about it too much. Just enter your spot position and let it play out, because we are still starting off so damn small. We have to think of the larger picture here. And small coin spot, or we can do leverage. You can do leverage if you want. I don't recommend it. Mostly when it comes down to leverage for smaller coins, because the moves are a lot larger. You can do leverage on coins, you know, like IMX, AVAX. Those aren't really smaller coins, but you know, meme coins and stuff like that, like Pepe, and yeah, don't do leverage on those. That's just, you'd rather just buy the spot coin of that at that point, right? But I know someone in Hbar, I don't know if he's watching right now, but one of the subscribers, I think, what was it, $400 or something to like 8,000 profit on the breakout of 0.06. It was some crazy number, and like he literally just waited. He messaged me, hey, I'm like, okay, enter, this is the breakout. He played the breakout perfectly. I don't know if he's still holding or what, but like, yeah, like these kind of opportunities for altcoins for leverage are definitely there. If you can catch it, you make some crazy amounts of money. And that's what I'm saying. Like, as a leverage trader and a spot trader, you can play both sides of the market. You want to have your long-term bag, buy the coin for spot, then leverage it as it goes up. If you think a corrective move is about to happen, then instead of selling your spot position, just short the coin. I shorted IMX so many damn times at 2030, like so many damn times. But you know, you just have an idea of where exactly you want to go. As long as you know the long-term conviction, you're okay. You'll be fine in this market. I'm super excited though, guys, because altcoin season is just starting. I am super excited to see the amount of rallies we can see. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I just had Bonk because a subscriber messaged me about it, analyzing, and I'm like, I'm not gonna analyze it, but this was a crazy run for meme coins. This is what I'm saying. Like, you can make life-changing money if you get the right coin, but you know, it takes a lot. It does take a lot to get into the right coin at the right time, and then the market psychology. The coin can go to zero tomorrow. Am I gonna hold? Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting to a point in my life where I don't really need all that. So for ETH, now we're waiting for the daily to close. That is correct. On Ethereum, we are waiting for the daily to close. We need to break above 2240 if we are going to look for any sort of position. You can scalp Ethereum into the 9 EMA as well if you really want to. But like I said, if you guys have already profited, like I do think it's going to happen, because a V-shaped move on the 4-hour time frame looks something like this. When you are trading a V-shaped move on the 4-hour time frame, we trade off the wick, which is 2248. That is the level of scalp. You can enter a scalp position here, wait, even get close to even the body of the candle at 2237. That's pretty good profit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are the kind of things that I look for when I'm trading on the 4-hour time frame. I have scalps, I have long term, I have intraday 4-hour positions. Like, you can do both sides of the story. So yeah, this is a pretty free trade too, right? A break above on the V-shaped corrective move, it has to hit that level of the wick. We are entering, volume is there, Bitcoin's doing well. Like, we are trading above the 21. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple trade. You can enter it into the wick high, but be aggressive. And when I a lot of you guys always ask me, like, hey, Pingo, what do you mean by be aggressive? Be aggressive. let me explain market psychology to you guys, and let me explain why most people fail at leverage trading. Number one is stop losses and take profits. And this is the hardest part for a lot of people to try to understand. And I'll explain this super simple so you guys can get it for the rest of your life. When you are trading, so you guys have just hold, before I start, look at Ethereum. This is what I mean. Like, this is a very simple trade. We can literally enter a scalping position or a long position into 2246. But let me explain stop loss, take profits. And I explained this, I think, the first, second, or third live stream I ever did. And I haven't talked about it since, but I know it's going to be beneficial for a lot of you guys. When you are trading leverage. Let's talk about leverage. When you trade leverage and you enter a position, and you need to, first of all, you need to have a concept of why are you entering the position, where are you going to exit, and when are you going to be happy with your profits. That's the first thing that should go on your head. For example, me, what I do is when I trade a position and a leverage position and I'm up 5%, I will take that 5%. I don't care if the trade goes up 20%, 30%, 50%. I don't give a shit, because to me, 5% a day, most traders aren't even doing that a week. I can consistently do that a day, and I'm happy with that a day. That's my level of take profit. Like, look at Ethereum squeeze though, right? So for example, I told you guys right here at 2210, I think is when I first said, hey guys, this is a pretty easy long position on Ethereum into the wick high. Right now, if you took that position, you would be up a decent profit, maybe 2%, maybe 3%, whatever. In the span of me saying those 3 sentences, you probably made 50, 60, 100, depending on your margin, whatever. You probably made a decent amount of money. You guys got to understand that there's, if you can do that consistently, scalp, whatever, take those profits and leave, take what's on the table. Why? Why, Pingu? Why do you not hold the position for longer? Why don't you yada, yada, yada? How many times have we seen Ethereum hit a position level and immediately reverse? Like, how many times have you guys seen that? I'm sure you guys have been part of it too. At one point, you're up 15%, you're happy, you go eat dinner, you come back, and now you're negative 20%. You're like, what the hell just happened? It's because the market doesn't owe you anything. It really doesn't. You need to have a mental level in your head. No matter what this level is hit, I will take those profits. There's things you can do to tweak that mindset. So for example, what I mean is a breakout trade. If you see 5% on the table on a breakout trade. So for example, this right now is a breakout trade. We are up, let's say 3% right now on this trade. What I would do is I would place a trailing stop loss. And what that means is basically if the market were to reverse and it hits your stop, you are ending in profit. Regardless of market conditions, you are ending in profit. But that trailing stop has to be to a point where you are happy. I see people do this all the time, and you will never be a profitable trader if you do this. Is, for example, let's say they enter the position here at 2283, okay? They enter the position, and immediately they'll place a stop loss back at 2283. And I'm like, what? And I can't lose, right? Because I entered, and if it automatically hits that position, yeah, you still lose, bro. You still lose on fees. You still lose on everything else. Like, what do you mean? And like, at that point, you will never be profitable, because guess what? The market will always end up hitting back on that zone before the continuation. How many times have you guys traded a position on the 4 hour, 1 hour? I don't care what you guys trade, but when you guys trade a position and the market hits your level and then continues, it happens every time, and you guys feel like, oh my god, the market's out to get me. It's not out to get you. It's just a failure pattern. That's all it is. You really need to understand that when you enter a position, if your emotions are too high, lower your leverage, lower your margin. If you are stalking the chart all day long, then you are not trading properly. Every single trader in here right now is different. Not everyone is the same. Daryl's different, Gecko's different, Yosin's different. Everyone in here is a different trader. Some traders, like I said, they will end up holding their position longer. Some traders use more margin because they're gamblers. Everyone in their head is a different psychological, and that's the fun part of trading, is you will find out what kind of person you are. If you are an overthinker, you will overanalyze every single position. If you are someone that is greedy, you will end up holding a position for too long. That is what you have to be careful about, and that's where you really understand market psychology. I cannot teach that because there's so many of you in here that are different, and I cannot teach you guys market psychology. I can give you guys awareness of it, and that's what I do. I give you awareness of market psychology, and maybe, you know, something ticks with you and you're like, okay, wait, no, that's what I do. I can fix that. Do something about your hard stops. Do something about your take profits. Have a level in your head. Be reasonable, guys. If I wasn't here, let's say, for example, let's say I don't exist, and you're trading, and you know, you start consistently hitting 2%, 3% a day. Have a mental stop in your head. Okay, this is it. This is my 2% a day. I'm living with this for the rest of my life. 2% a day. As your margin increases, 2%, let's say $1,000. What's 2%? 20 bucks, 10,000, 200 bucks, 100,000. You see what I'm saying? Like, it, as your margin increases, your 2% a day is going to end up being a lot. It's funny because this also comes down to like the topic of like money itself. Like, a lot of folks, when they leverage trade or they start leverage trading, they say, oh, I only made $100 today. Oh, I only made $300 today. And it's always funny to me because I'm like, you only made $300, or only made $500 today, only made $1,000. It's always funny to me because I'm like, yo, like, you guys gotta understand, from like a part-time job or a full-time job, someone that goes to work 9 to 5, don't care, it can be anything. I don't hate on 9 to 5s. I love my job. I do whatever you guys want to say. But if you look at it from that perspective, you work 8 hours for that versus you entering a position in 5 minutes and making 10%, and it ends up being $1,000. Like, that's the way you have to see things. If you start seeing things like that, you are going to be a lot better of a trader, because you're going to be a lot more grateful for how you are trading in the long term. If you end up being greedy and saying, oh, it's only 2, 3, 4 grand, I promise you will end up liquidating all of your accounts, because you do not simply understand the fact that most traders, 2, 3, 4% or whatever, is still a lot of money. You have to be grateful for what the market gives you. There are things you can do to obviously tweak your trading. Like I said, 21.22 was the level we were playing. We ended up playing that level perfectly, and great, congrats, we made a lot of money. You guys swing that position, whatever, you're up in the profits right now. But if you really think that, hey, I'm up, it's crazy to me, because sometimes some people, and I'm not pointing names, but some people send me their trades, and guys, I don't know how to explain this to you. They're up 450% at times, and they're like, hey, Pinga, what do you think? I'm like, well, like 450%. What do you think? What do I think? Like, why are you not taking profits? Like 450%. They want that, and that's where I'm saying, like, I noticed these mentalities of like greed, where they want the trade that, you know, the story of the guy that turned 1,000 into 100,000 in one trade. You will end up blowing your accounts, guys. If you start trading like that, you will end up blowing your accounts. Less is more. Smaller profits will add up, I promise you. You just have to be very careful with them. You have to be aggressive when you are entering your trades. Like I said, this trade right now, we have a plan, right? We were at 22.10, I think. We have a plan for this trade. When you enter the trade, play the V shape, wick highs at 22.46, you end up closing at 22.46. If you are up 5% right now, if you're up 6 or 7% right now, is it the end of the world if you close this here before it hits 22.46? No. Take your profits if you are happy with them. Really, take them, because guess what? We can easily just see a reverse, hit the EMAs as support, and then hit a bounce. Yeah, that can happen, but like, are you willing to risk that, right? That's all I want to explain, is like, there are things you guys really need to like focus on, other than the fact of technical analysis. Technical analysis you can teach. It's very teachable. I'm self-taught, books, whatever, and I teach you guys levels. I teach you guys extremely well, I think, because there's a ton of you that are very profitable in the chats. But what I look for, of course, is market psychologically, and I think that's the harder part to train someone, or at least teach someone, because the same people make the same mistakes over and over and over when it comes down to market. So just keep that in mind as you guys are trading. Would you swing ETH to 23.05? I entered at 22.6. You entered at 22.60. You entered over here. Like, are you talking about before, or did you mean to type in 22.06? Say something about entering positions. Yeah, so when I explain, I have videos out there that why I enter a position, what I look for, but I'll explain real quick while Aisha types her thing. What I look for in a position is few things. So number one, a major retest on support. So we got that 21.22. RSI was extremely oversold. This level was acting as a crucial resistance. I entered on the breakout, of course, in terms of exponential moving average. We didn't see the retest yet. Enter on that long position. hit that retest. I told you guys scalper can start taking profits. Wait for the structure break of the exponential moving average. You can re-enter that trade. Now you can take profit on the 20 EMA. Now you have a V-shaped correlation playing out. Now you can re-enter on the V-shape. That's pretty much how I look for it. I trade price action. There's a ton of things that I look for, but these are some of the things that I teach you guys. And I always teach you guys this, like, hey, this is why we're entering. This is the reason why we're entering this trade. And then, is it possible to only share second screen? Yeah, but then I can't see the chat. Then hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Let me fix this. Hold on. Hey, there we go. How's that? That must be a lot better for you guys. My apologies. But this way you guys can see why, you know, in terms of trading, why you should do it like that. Like there's so many reasons, or rather what I trade, but what I usually look for are breakouts, or what I usually look for are the 4-hour time frames, intraday time frames, and then kind of continuation from there. But yeah, like I said, this trade right now, for example, I'm still focusing on 2247. We will probably end up hitting it. Bitcoin's had a really strong run. We broke above the exponential moving averages. Guess what? Ethereum's still lagging behind. We are easily going to see a wick into 2236, 2240. Aisha, you entered at 2160. You are probably up quite a bit of profits right now. This is what I'm saying. So this is a great example. Someone in the chat right now entered the trade at 2160. This is where it becomes interesting. Aisha, how much percentage are you up right now on this trade from the initial trade that you took? I'm just curious. Like, I'll teach you guys this, and like this is what I'm saying. Like, this is something that will teach you guys long term as well, for maybe when I'm not around or something happens, for example. You'll always remember these lessons. But when you enter a swing position, what you want to try to do is play the trade out until the main level. So the main level here would be 2305. But there's a few things you have to understand before that happens. So Aisha, you are up 147%. Okay. So, Aisha, let me ask you this. You are up 147%. What are you waiting for before you're happy with the trade? Like 147% off one trade at 2160 where you entered. Are you just waiting for 2305? What happens, Aisha, if the trade reverses here on the exponential moving average? What happens at that point? Let's say, for example, we do end up hitting 2240, like the V-shaped move. So we have the V-shaped finisher. We end up hitting that level, and then we see a correction like this and another retest before we continue pushing further. Aisha, are you prepared for that situation on a swing position? Because if you are prepared for that situation, then yes, you can hold for 2305. If you are not prepared for that situation, then take your profits. 147% is enough for the day. You do not need to be greedy here and enter and wait. If you want to re-enter the trade, then you definitely can. And guess where you would re-enter? Wait for the V-shaped move to complete, enter on the exponential moving average, and then play the swing again. And that's what I'm saying is there's so many times where people will end up holding the trade, but hey, guess what? You can take your 147%. You have 147% extra in terms of capital. Now you wait for the market to show you another re-entry, then enter again. Are you going to be worried if the market corrects? No, because your original entry was already in profit. You don't care at that point. You're just going to ride the wave anyways, right? Yeah, Sebastian, I took half at 15%. Yeah, everyone is different, Sebastian, and that's okay. You are totally okay to do that. But like I said, this is what I'm saying. This, now you guys see why I talked about this in the beginning, is market psychology is something I cannot teach. Everyone is going to be a different type of trader. You have to be very, very careful. So I'm asking how, sorry, I can't see the chat. I'm asking how to know if the retest is complete. Well, I trade wicks, right, Wooter? So wicks are what I trade. So a retest would be on the wick exactly. You look at 2122 support. It was on the level exactly. The wick happened exactly on the level. The candle closed, and I knew that retest was complete. So we wait for candle closes. That's how you know a retest is complete. If, for example, we were trading at 2122 and we saw a break of 2122 and a candle close like this, does that mean that's a retest? No, that means that the structure broke. What are we going to do? Are we going to enter the short immediately? No. What we wait for is a retest of 2122 to see whether or not we get the candle close back above that level, or retest it as resistance. If we see the resistance now, then we know we are continuing to push lower. What are we going to do? We're going to enter on the retest as resistance for the confirmation. That's pretty much what I trade. That's how I trade price action. That's what I look for, at least. But yeah, the current trade structure, like I said, Aisha, you're up 147%. You had a beautiful entry at 2160. I mentioned to you guys 21.22 is the area we want to trade. Some of you guys got in at 21.30. Some of you guys got in at 21.40. Some of you guys took profits at 21.87. That's okay. There's going to be more opportunities, and that's the beauty of 4-hour trading. Guys, think about it. I send a trade, I think for the past 3 weeks, I have sent like 1 or 2 trades every day. It's not a signal. It's not like enter 22.17, take profit here, stop loss here. I'm not that kind of person. There's no, I don't need to be doing that. What I tell you guys is simple levels and price action and when I enter the trade. I'm not a signal provider, but you guys have noticed that I tell you guys, hey, this level is going to be hit. If you want to enter, scalp. If you want to be a conservative, wait for the break and then enter. That's what I do. And these levels play extremely well. You guys have noticed, like pretty much throughout this whole structure, we have played this extremely well. Other than this formation, which of course, that wasn't like we were wrong. I just didn't feel like I didn't want to enter a short position on the break of the structure. Like I said, that's just one thing that I don't do. I don't get greedy with trades. I let the market come to me. But that's what you have to be very, very careful about is over trading. That's another thing. Some of you guys in the chat, like you'll end up losing a trade. And then you'll be like, I got to make it back tonight. I got to make this back. No. You lost a trade. You're out. Like you're out for the day. Go outside, do whatever you need to, and then come back, reevaluate what you did wrong, and then go from there. You do not need to counter trade yourself. It's always better to take a nap. Trust me, I have been liquidated many times in my life of trading. And the number one mistake I did was taking a huge loss and counter trading and trying to make it back. It never works out. You are emotional, you're pissed, you think the market's out to get you. It's not. You just made a mistake, that's all. But like look at Ethereum, guys. Like I mentioned at 22.10 in this live session that hey, this is a very easy long position into the V shape at 22.35 the candle close or 22.47 for the candle wick. It is playing out. What magical thing did I do? Nothing. I waited for the EMA break. We had 21.22 as support. We know what a V shape looks like. We enter on the V shape. We be aggressive, and 21.35 we can either close for take profits or we can wait for the wick high, whatever you want to do. But that's just how we trade. That's exactly what we look for. So now that's what two out of three out of three pretty much. 21.22 was the first one. EMA was the second one. Now this was the third one that was in the live session. That's 3 trades that I gave, and they're all hit perfectly. And you know. And that's all you gotta do. Like that's pretty much it. Is you obviously I've done this a lot longer, so it's a little easier for me to at least notice these things. But for those of you that are beginners, once you get into the habit of noticing these patterns and you entering, and the hardest step for any trader is to just pull the trigger and enter. That's it. That is the hardest step. You see the level hit, do not hesitate, enter the trade. If you hesitate, you will miss a few dollars, you'll get pissed, you will miss your entry, and then you'll try to fight back for a better entry. Do not hesitate. Enter that position once you have a reason to enter. If you are waiting for a week straight for 21.22, you waited a whole week and you didn't enter the trade, and now you're entering up here. There's some things that you need to question about yourself. Like, why did you wait that whole week for that level to hit? And when it did hit, you didn't enter. That's something that you guys will learn over time, I think, throughout the years. The more money you lose, the better you will be at making money. And I really mean that. The more money you lose, the more money you'll be better at making money. Because you won't think, you'll just do. And when you do, you'll make more money, and then you do whatever you need to life-wise, and then come back to the market. I take a lot of breaks. You guys saw, I go out, I do my thing. I disappear for like 7 hours at times. And some of you guys message me like, Pingu, where are you? And I'm like, I'm outside. I'm doing my thing. I'm not. Or something I'll just be playing Fortnite. And I'm like, I do whatever I need to because I still have a life. Like, and that's the number one thing. You do not need to be sitting here on the chart all day long watching this like a hawk. Like, oh, you may hit. Okay, I gotta enter. Oh no, the stop loss. I gotta enter. Like, I don't do that. Like, just take 1 or 2, 3 trades a day if that needs to. Even that is a lot. 1 or 2 good trades, and win or lose, doesn't matter. You're done for the day. Move on. If you're scalping, you can take 2, 3, 4, 5 positions because crypto is very volatile. They give us the benefit of volatility, and you can enter and make a ton of money. But like I said, there's these things that over trading is a thing. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. You'll get better as you go. You'll learn this. Even if you feel frustrated right now because you're not learning and you've been trying to practice for 3 months, guys, it took me 2 years, 2 damn years to learn this. And that was 14 hours a day. 14 hours a day of staring at charts. And you guys want to know something crazy? There's only 17 of you in this chat, but let me tell you guys something. I didn't tell this to anyone before, but you guys want to know something crazy? When I do a video on YouTube, I don't prepare.
I improvise every single video. I look at the chart and I know what's happening, and I just make the video. I draw the lines on the chart before I make the video. I improvise completely, and it's like that's the thing is like that's naked price action. That's like what happens when you stare at charts for too long. You kind of understand what's happening and go from there. And the levels hit perfectly. It's not like I need a script or I don't need to draw anything or prepare for the. And that's why you guys saw in this live session, I didn't prepare. I'm doing this live. We entered the trade at 21.10. If you wanted to, I said, hey, this is a perfect long opportunity. And look, the trade is profitable. It's up $12. $12 Ethereum. I'm sure some of you guys are up, 5, 6, 7, 8%. Guess what? Take your profits. You want to be aggressive, take your profits. There's no reason for you to be waiting for the dream wick. It might not happen. We could easily reverse. Why? Because it's 5 o'clock, stock market's closed, and things start getting weird at 5 o'clock, stock market closed. Yeah, look at Beam. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look at that wick on Beam. Like, it's just stuff that you kind of play around as you go. Do you journal your trades, Yosin? No, I actually don't. I never have. I do think it's a great habit to journal your trades, but what I usually do is, for example, I lose a trade. What I used to do rather was on the chart, I would just do this, like an X or X. And then I would know, okay, like I made a mistake there, and I would go analyze that mistake after. And then you start doing that across the board. That's what I'm saying is like a lot of people are like, oh, go analyze, Jupiter, for example, or whatever, like a random coin. Like stick to 3 or 4 coins, like mostly the larger caps when it comes down to leveraging, and make mistakes on those. And once you get the patterns, you'll get better. Because then the smaller, lower caps, liquidities, I love when people analyze something that has like a 50 million market cap, and they're analyzing like, W formations and wedges and triangle. I'm like, dude, like what are you doing? Like all it takes is one person to sell, and that whole little chart of yours goes to zero. Like it's stupid. You're better off just trading the larger caps and analyzing on those if you're going to get better at trading. How high do you put your leverage on when you scalp? Woocher, I do 20x when I'm scalping. 10x is my swing position. That's it. There's nothing after that other than liquidation Thursdays is 125x, but that does not count. That is not the style of trading I teach. We just do that for fun, and it is fun. I have lost a lot of money for you guys because you guys are always wrong, but you know what? It's okay. The day we learn to every single week we start getting profitable on liquidation Thursdays is the day I know that we made it. EHD daily candle. Wow, I don't know what that is. Aisha, you're the man, Pingu, with your service, the community, the universe will bring it back. Yeah, thanks, Daryl. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I know this stuff is really beneficial for you guys. That's why I try to keep it Mondays 4:30, because I know you guys want to learn and you guys are really trying out there. And that's why I don't charge for anything. The Telegram is absolutely free. Only thing I recommend is Fairdesk, and that's because of the fees. Because I have traded on KuCoin, I have traded on Binance. And when you're scalping 3-4 times a day, and your fee ends up being $300-$400, and you only have like $1,000 or $5,000 account, you're like, what the hell? That's a lot of money. That's why I like Fairdesk. They're really nice, and they're really good to us too. They do a lot for us, so that's why I will always recommend them long term. But yeah, I think that's it. Okay, cool. That's what I do. Thanks. Yeah. Okay, that's it, guys. For me, it's about an hour. I want people to watch this. Like I said, we're not trying to watch Lord of the Rings trilogies here. So thank you for coming. I'll see you guys next week. If you guys made money this week, then, or of course today, then go do something else today. You don't need to trade. If you didn't make money, what you're going to pay attention to is a 4-hour candle close, retest on exponential moving average, and then enter the position for the V shape. 2305 is the play as of right now, assuming we close above the EMAs. The fight for the EMAs should get very interesting. I'm excited. I'm always excited. Bitcoin has a W formation as well in the 4-hour. 44K seems to be the play. And of course, if 44K is played, second test on 44, that would be the third test. So what happens at the third test on the daily? You guys already know. We see a massive breakout. So yeah, it's exciting times. Next 2 weeks, that's why I have not sold any spot positions. I refuse to sell any spot positions. I will sell my spot positions much higher. I am a patient man, and I enjoy the profits as they come, but I refuse to sell early. So that's just my play. 2 weeks later, I will let you guys know when I close my spot positions. I will touch grass, and we will come back probably mid-January, February, even late March, back into spot positions. It all depends on this magical ETF decision. So should be interesting. But yeah, all right, guys, have a good day. Ciao, ciao.